Okay, so today's story time is about the worst teacher I have ever had. Like, seriously, this teacher sucked, and, I still hate her to this day. And if you ever have a teacher like this, I'm sorry, because I understand. And, let's, uh, let's get straight into it. So this story takes place way back in 6th grade. And, no, 5th grade, actually. And so, this teacher, let's call her Miss Anderson. So Miss Anderson was just I thought she was a regular teacher when I was going to 5th grade, but she was a good teacher for like the first month I had her. And I felt like we had a pretty good relationship. Like we didn't really have any problems, she's a pretty cool teacher. And well, about 2 months into me being in her class, for whatever reason, she just I don't know, she just started like getting mad at me and my friend group. And obviously we probably were messing around in her class a lot, and that's kind of a shitty thing to do, but still, like, what she did is it was not called for, even if I was messing around in her class a little bit. And so this story kind of starts 2 months into 5th grade. And so this teacher, she started, hating my friend group. And, she started, kind of just being rude to us, just adding rude comments in class, just, calling us out. And, she to be honest, she started to become a bitch. And, I would tell my mom about this. I'd say, dude, my teacher was, she was being so bitchy today. And, it was just really annoying. And my mom would just be like, yeah, let me know if she's, being any more rude. And so fast forward about 2 months of this bullshit that I keep taking with her just being a bitch every day in class. About 2 months later, I get some sad news and I hear my grandpa's died. So we have to go on a week trip to Arizona to go to his funeral and, support my family. And so I go out of town for about a week. And when I get back, my teacher is just so mad at me, and she thinks I went on some big vacation. And, I tell her, I had to go to my grandpa's funeral and stuff. And she was just like, okay. And this just, pissed me off. We also had this, we had to line up in alphabetical order, and we had only done it, a week before I had left. We had just started it. And, I got back, and I just, lined up, next to my friend. She's like, Burton, you're not supposed to line up there. And I was just like, oh, I forgot. She's like, I don't care. I'm like, I'm sorry. I was just like, my grandpa died, I had to go. I had to go to the funeral, and she was just like, I don't care. And, she was just being, the regular bitch she always was. And this day, I was just not taking it. I was still a little emotional for my grandpa dying. And she was just being extra rude today. And I stand up and walk out of the classroom. I'm just like, I'm not taking this fucking bullshit today. Really, today, I'm not taking it. I'm not doing this. So, I stand up and I walk out of the classroom. And my mom, she is a substitute teacher, kind of. She'll get calls sometimes if someone needs to substitute. And she was at the school today. So I walk into her classroom, and I just tell my mom, dude, I cannot take it. Miss Anderson is being so rude. I cannot take this today. And she's like, okay, go up to the principal, just, tell her what happened. So I go up to my principals, and I just tell her what's been going on for the past few months. And she's like, how rude she's been being. And my principal was on my teacher's side. Even after everything I told her, she was just like, still, you cannot disrespect a staff member. You cannot walk out of the classroom. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? She's been targeting me and my friends every day for the past 4 months. And she's like, Burton, don't use that language in my classroom. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just, I'm not gonna take this, She's just being rude. And she's being a bitch, honestly. She's not doing a good job. And my mom calls my dad and just, tells her, because my dad had been hearing that, this teacher's being rude. And she tells my dad, she's like, hey, can you, bring Burton some lunch, you know, like, because he's missing his lunchtime right now because he's in the office. And, like, my parents are just, like, fully on my side. And they're really mad at this teacher. So my dad brings me some McDonald's. And, you know, I'm just sitting in the office for, like, 2 hours while the principal talks to my teacher. And so they call me in. And, you know, I sit down. And they're just like, okay, Burton, tell us your side of the story. And my teacher just looks over at me, just, like, so mad at me that I had told on her. And, like, to be honest, she deserved it. Like, I hope she got fired that day. She was actually so rude. And, yeah, she was actually the worst teacher ever. But, you know, I tell my principal that I'd been taking her bullshit for, like, 4 months. And my friends also hated her. And all of her past students hated her. And I'm just saying, you know, is that a coincidence? No, she's a bad teacher. And my teacher gets very offended from this. And she's like, okay, I'm doing my job as best as I can. I'm the one that has a master's degree in teaching, not you. And I'm like, bro, I don't give two fucks if you have a master's degree in teaching. You're not a good teacher. I say that right to her face. And she's like, excuse me? I'm just like, yeah, I said it. You're a horrible teacher. It's like, you should not be teaching. If you're going to be this rude to your students for fun, you should not be teaching. Like, you seriously should be working on a ditch, digging holes, or, like, picking up trash. And so I get in trouble for saying this, and I get suspended for, like, 2 days. And my parents are pissed at this point. They're so mad because, you know, my teacher did admit that she was kind of rude to me, but she didn't admit that she was that rude. Like, she was, like, just picking on me every day. Like, and have a good rest of your day. Peace. And so after my 2 day suspension, that I get called up to the principals, and I hear that I'm going to be switching classes, which I'm thrilled to hear this. I'm so happy. She's like, but seriously, Burton, you cannot disrespect your teachers like that. I'm just like, you know, I'm sorry. Like, maybe I was in the wrong for calling her a bitch, but, you know, she was being a bitch, you know. I'm going to be honest. And, you know, that's the story. Like, my teacher was just horrible. And if you have a teacher like this, don't be afraid to tell anyone. You know, like, if a teacher's acting like that, she should not be teaching. It's like, even if she has a master's degree in teaching, who gives a fuck? If she's being rude like that, she should not be teaching. So, yeah, that's today's story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave in the comments your stories. Feel free. And make sure to like and subscribe, and have a great day.
Don't give a fuck, bitch, people be able to like a trash, fuck a bitch, cause I wanna go outside in the dark, and don't have to take any shit, they're farm bitch, motherfucking people box it, you really say, always